I love the name of your podcast. I think it's really fun.
It's a nice way to say because when I moved here in France, I was like, I'll manage it, because I've stayed away from my family for so many years. I'll manage this. But then after a month, I was like, I can't do this. This is too much for me. This is that the females are much more successful than the men. I was like, yeah, we have done it. We have done it. We are doing it. If you are even being rude to me, I'll still be polite to you. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, fine.
Europe has a lot more sports regulations in place.
Hmm.
But there is more football focused, here is more cricket focused.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Curry Meets Croissant. This is the podcast where we dive into the real and raw experiences of students and professionals navigating life abroad. And we are at episode number 8. We have come so far. So, today's episode is a special one for me because I have someone I deeply admire joining us today. She's an incredible legal mind, a trailblazer in sports law, and someone I've had the privilege of working with at Vilay Sports back in India. So, studying and working abroad is often seen as a dream come true, but behind that dream lies immense pressure to succeed, and most of all, to make our parents, our families proud. Do we owe our success to our families? How do we define success beyond external expectations? And what does the reality of chasing an international career actually look like? We will be answering these questions and more with my amazing guest, Prerna, who had studied sports law in Madrid and is now making her mark in the industry. We'll talk about family expectations, societal pressures, and the challenges of building a career abroad. And of course, we'll explore solutions for those who feel overwhelmed by these kind of weights. So grab yourself a coffee, settle in, and let's get started today. Welcome to Curry Meets Croissant, Prerna. How are you doing today?
Hi, hi. Thank you for having me. Really excited to be here.
But yeah, I mean, I have learned so much from you when we were working. Maybe it was not for like a whole year, but a couple of months. And I'm really grateful that we shared the workspace together. You have taught me a lot of things, and I really look up to you and somehow. But
Oh yeah. All this is not needed. You're a really cool person and like think you're really ambitious and I like sometimes when you're in that zone of wanting some things for you, you just sort of end up meeting the right people and having the right conversations. So I think our paths just crossed at the right times when I needed to get to know somebody like you. So yeah.
thank you so much. But yeah, let's start from the beginning. What inspired you to pursue sports law, and how did that Madrid become a part of your journey?
Okay. So, sports law was like never in the plan because it's a very niche and a new field.
Mhm.
And I also, like, we had an elective about it in college, but it just never intrigued me. I was very focused towards human rights. But then COVID hit, and then getting into human rights during COVID was really, really hard, especially as a lawyer, because these chambers are already strapped for funds, and hiring new people during a pandemic for human rights is really tough. So I had to pivot and I got into corporate, something I thought I would never do. And so I tried a bunch of things. I started with like an in-house FinCorp legal team. Then, came to a law firm in Bangalore. Then in that law firm in Bangalore, I joined their entertainment team. Media and entertainment and sports, I think because it's not a lot of work yet in India, it kind of fell into the entertainment space. And lucky for me, I got assigned to one sports project as such, which was about esports. And I was the only person working on that project, and I was directly working with the partner.
Mhm.
And because there was not a lot of information already out there on it, I really had like the space to play with creativity. I had the space to like reach out to different people and just ask them, how does this work and what are you doing? And it was just a really cool like space for me to explore by myself, and that really excited me. Then I reached out to everybody from my own college that I heard of were doing sports law. And in those conversations, the college that came up was ISDE, which is one of the most well-known colleges for sports law, which is in Madrid. And so Spain, especially Madrid, is also a big hub for sports. Football is already a huge thing in Europe as it is. And Madrid, especially, I think there's like two, three universities that are really, really popular. ISDE is sort of at the top one of, it's right there. And I applied, and it was very last minute. The course starts in Jan. I applied in November. I got in. It was a special request because I spoke through an alumni, and they put me in touch and they pled my case, and just applied, got in within 1 month, visa done, everything done, and I just went. Uh, that's how it started. And the like every day that I show up at work, I'm really excited, and it's a new feeling for me because uh I have tried everything. I have tried design, I've tried event, I've tried law, I've tried entrepreneur, I've tried podcasts also. And I'm somebody that like is curious about so many things. And one thing never sticks for very long, and sports law has stuck. Because I think also like the perks are really fun, right? You get to like say you work on a sponsorship deal, and then you watch that team play on TV and you see that logo on the player's jersey, and you're like, hey, I did that, I made that happen. So it's pretty cool. It's a cool feeling. There's instant gratification. You read about it in the newspaper, all of that. And so right when I got into the field and I was in Bangalore, there was the RCB Leaders Summit happening. I went for that, and that itself was so cool. And it was just, I think the most attractive thing was that it's a very nascent field, it's a young field, and I get to be a part of something that also involves creativity and entrepreneurship to a large extent, and help like build this field from the ground up. So I think it was more curiosity than passion, and it's kind of led me down some good paths, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, even when we used to work together, we never got to know each other in this personal level. Now, today, we will get to know each other in a much better way. But yeah, I've always seen you that you are not a person who sits idly. You're always like, okay, there is an event, let's go there. There's this, let's go there. Like, you're just always like here and there. But yeah, that is what actually got me. Like, if you're sitting idly, what will you even do? It's better just go network out there, or maybe go just talk to somebody over LinkedIn, or just meet, socialize. I think that also helps you in
Yeah,
professional field, and that and
yeah.
all I really have learned from you. And there's I'm
Please
not
stop.
no, no, this is just not because of the podcast. This is, I'm genuinely saying that when you learn something from somebody, you really have to admire that. And I really do that. Like, I've learned that from you, and I really admire that you have taught me and then you showed me that these are the ways you can also, go for it or achieve success. But I wanted to also say that when we were doing a class about doing business in Asia, and all the Asian countries, they were like very male dominant. And I was really proud when the stats talked that India is more female dominant slowly, that the females are much more successful than the men. I was like, yeah, we have done it. We have done it. We are doing it. And all the higher positions are filled with only women. And so I was like, that is a very good stat. Like, we were more
Yeah,
male dominant country, and then we are slowly, like, all the higher positions are filled with women. Like, we are doing it. Like, we
yeah.
in such a long way that India is the only country in the whole world that has introduced equal pay in sports. And I think we should really be proud about that, what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at least how far we've come
Yeah.
uh, is a good place to be from where we started. And I think like people don't give cricket enough credit for what it's done for women's cricket, right? It hasn't been easy for them to set up a league and monetize it. And for those who've been around will know that of the first few editions of the Women's Premier League, the tickets were almost free because they were like, just come and watch the match at least, right? We're just trying to draw attention, we're trying to draw crowds, come to the stadium and watch. They made tickets free for women for the longest time, because it was just so hard to draw eyeballs to the sport of women. But then look at where it is now, right? Especially when last year RCB won the Women's Premier League. And the way the men's team welcomed them, welcomed the trophy home,
True.
the way that they got the same love that, the men's team have been getting for all these years. They also did a victory lap around the city with the trophy. So just like it comes to show that like men's sport, women's sport, at the end of the day, it is about the sport and it is about the emotions it evokes
Hmm.
the people that are connected with the sport. So I think like, and so a very interesting thing I noticed was last year when I went to watch a Women's Premier League match in the stadium on an RCB match day, the jerseys that are sold outside the stadium, you were either getting just RCB jerseys or Virat jerseys.
Hmm.
This year there were jerseys in the name of Smriti
Oh,
Mandana,
God.
so it was just such a cool thing to see. Like, because last year I really wanted to buy a jersey that said Smriti.
Hmm.
If I'm going to watch a women's premier match, why will I wear Virat jersey, right? But we just couldn't find. But this time it was just filled with, her jersey names, and I was just like, wow, this is so cool. Like we've come really far. So that
Yeah.
made me, yeah,
I think, yeah, and also India lifted two trophies this year with the
yeah,
women's and the men's. I think that's a very proud moment also for us. But
yeah,
I would really proudly say that India as a country, compared to all the countries, I think they have done a lot in sports. Even though they might not be the exceptional, like comparing to US, Europe, or South Korea, China, Japan, but the steps and the like evolutions that they're doing in sport, I think that's remarkable, and
Hmm.
everybody should take note, and then they should also start
Yeah.
applying to it.
Fair, like true. A lot of it is true, but I also think we've a long way to go.
Exactly.
'Cause last year was also the year of the the WFI and the fight against sexual harassment by all these female wrestlers. And I think what happened there was also um it shows where we lack in the governance of our sport, especially when we govern women's sports, right? So yes, kudos where it's due, but I also think that there is a general lack of basic understanding of women's safety that needs to be better looked at and better protected in this country as well. I
Mm,
think we're not a country that lacks talent by any measure.
true.
Um, and support also, I think the government does a fair bit. We have a lot of private sectors also in sport now, supporting grassroots level sports, supporting women's sports. But I think at the federation level and above, and just in terms of like regulatory practices that we can have, I think there's still a lot of work to be done in just safeguarding women athletes.
Yeah, I think, anyways, they called India the sleeping giant, and when it wakes up, it'll start roaring. So with time, we will also develop, and that's how, like, we'll slowly get there. But yeah, I think you have said it right. You have said it correctly. I'm sure there are so many people that they think that maybe we don't know this. Maybe we don't know anything apart from cricket. Maybe we don't know how to speak good English, but that's all that's all wrong. Like, I don't know who has put it out there, but it's all wrong. I think it's just assumptions in their head. I think people, they should dump their assumptions, and then they should
Yeah,
interact with more Indian people, and then they see like we are very much different than they think that we are. So
for sure, for sure. Like we approach them with very open minds, right?
true.
Like, yeah, I think that we should also get that same treatment, I feel.
But I think it also comes from our culture that we have always been welcoming. And that's why our history speaks a lot again on that, that we have always welcomed people with open arms and then got stabbed back. And that is how we have always been. And then, even after, with so much of harsh reality truths, we just never change. It's just a humble side of us. I think in general, the Asians, or I don't know about the rest of the Asian countries, but Indian, I would
Yeah.
say, I think whosoever has gone out, they are always like polite. They always welcome people with open arms. Like if you are even being rude to me, I'll still be polite to you. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, fine.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think another thing is also just the beauty standards, they're different there. Like for us, what we consider beautiful is not beautiful there. So I think like that also affected me and also the other people, like other girls that I knew. That was the thing with them also. You know, like in India, you wear your jhumkas and you put kajal and you feel really pretty. And there it's not the same. You can't just step out wearing these things and be like,
Oh,
yeah, I'm gonna get this validation from others. He's gonna look at you and be like, oh, like, is this a cultural dress that you wear? Like, I don't know. It's just, it's not the same, right? So I think adjusting um to the way you would have been perceived in India versus how you will be perceived in a predominantly white country. I think that also took some adjusting to.
so what is the difference between the culture of sports law in Europe and then in India?
Uh, Similar in a lot of senses that you watch it together.
Mhm.
um a lot of people together drinking and being really loud and being antagonistic and like friendly fire between two opposing teams. But there I think the drama is a lot bigger and the crowd is a lot bigger because I think there is space for that. uh we don't have that much space, I think, in India. Like we can't really congregate outside the Chinnaswamy Stadium the way that the football fans can outside the Bernabeu. So I attended like one Real Madrid versus Barcelona match, and oh my God, right? So there's like a party before the match on the streets outside the stadium. Everybody is out. They're wearing their, home colors. They're cheering as the players' buses come, and they all have like practice chants. And it's not just one or two, it's like, some seven, eight chants for their team against the opposite team. People have climbed on trees and they're yelling all of this, and there are, what are those, like firecrackers in red color because Real Madrid. And so there's all of this, like there's performances, but it's all impromptu. It's just the crowd. So I think the culture is just supported like that. The cops are there, but the cops are just on their horses, just sort of, they're not interfering. They're just there to manage crowd but they don't interfere. People are drinking on the streets because they can handle, their liquor and know how to behave. So I think all of that is there, and it's really fun to be a part of it. You can go into a bar and watch the match, and the energy is just next level. There are so many sports bars to begin with. Here we don't have as many
Yeah.
sports bars as such. So everybody's watching, and then say like Real Madrid fans are inside watching, Barca fans will be outside the window trying to like yell at you and like really get you riled up. So it's just really fun to see how these guys interact with them and they interact with these guys. And if there is a goal or if they win, then it's just next level. I think that is also similar to India, how we also just lose it. We have firecrackers, we go on like victory drives in MG Road with our flags and all. So I think it's very similar emotions of community and this brotherhood sort of, you'll hug anybody, you'll celebrate with anybody. It's really fun. Um, so that's, I mean, one thing that is similar. But I think you asked sports law or did you ask sports?
Sports law.
Oh shit. Okay.
Okay.
Um, I mean, that too, I think you can't really compare because Europe has a lot more sports regulations in place.
Hmm.
But there is more football focused, here is more cricket focused. Um, there, I think, apart from that, law is law. Here, we don't really have like particular government regulations on sports law as such. So we work with mostly, governance related aspects. Like say, if AIFF has rules, then we work with AIFF rules and FIFA rules.
Hmm.
So it's like that. So we don't really have like we're going to have one soon, a national sports bill. But yeah, so that way I think it's a lot more contractual based here. There, because it's football, they have football laws in place about agents and transfers and all of that. Our culture is different. Like our transfers don't happen the same way as they do, right?
Hmm.
The way football players are transferred, we don't have that here. There's no like we have IPL bidding, which is very different. So I think the field is very different. The players are very different. We have a lot more NGOs here. We have private companies that are supporting the sport in different ways. Um, yeah, that is, I think, big difference. But also in the end, it's law, right? So it's just contracts at the end of the day. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I did get a chance to go and watch a football match. I don't know exactly like which team, but it was in Germany in Munich, and I was really like tight with that month's expenses. I'm like, should I really have to like skip this? But I'm definitely gonna go watch like even PSG matches, but I'll just go for the fun, just to experience. I think I'll definitely go once. And I've watched the what do you say, the sport rugby over here. I think it's insane how people they celebrate, even though if the stadium is not full, but
Yeah.
the chants are always coming in. The fans who love watching rugby, I think they go insane. And I mean, that is in itself is a very, what do you say, beautiful experience. Like, you have not
Yeah.
seen this sport back in the country, and then you come here, you see that, okay, people are so crazy about different sports that you would have never thought about it. You just
Mm.
and that really made me happy. Like I was volunteering and I just got the experience. I was like, this is I'm going to write it down about this. I think I saw even basketball, but Paris, it was like European Championship going on, and even that was crazy. Like the lighting show before the match started and everything. I think we don't, even though we have good lighting show before the matches starts, but this was like out of the world. Like all the 3D effects coming in. I was like, shit, this is
Yeah.
insane. Like I'm so happy that I experienced this. Like all the
Yeah.
play entry with all the, what do you say? What is it called? Fires or something going on? What is it called?
Players.
Yeah, flares. Yeah, all the flares going up, and when the one or the other members are getting inside the court and for basketball, I think yeah, even there were like some hip hop dancers in the court welcoming the guests. I'm like, dude, this is so out of the world. I loved it. I think yeah, sports they do have a very intrigued way of bringing people together, even if you don't know them, but still you will sit and enjoy the match together, and then eventually you'll get to know each other. So I think sports is just bringing people, like creating a united nation.
Abs-
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have worked in a very high pressure and competitive industry. Were there sorry, what where I'm saying, were there moments where you doubted yourself or felt like imposter syndrome? Like did you
Yesterday.
push through it?
Yesterday I felt this. I don't think it'll go away. It's probably just a me thing also that I need to have more confidence in my work. Uh, but anytime you do something that challenges you, you'll always wonder whether you're doing good enough.
Hmm.
Um, So, and because there are very few people doing this field, in this field, they're already very good, right? Because they've now been doing it for a while, and that's why they're at the level that they are, and they're able to create space for younger people, and guide us through it. So you're always just intimidated by these people, right? And law is something that you only become better at with practice.
Mm.
Is really good at from the day one. The more you interact with your clients, the more trouble you get into, the more you know what it takes to do better next time. Um, so yeah, it is competitive because there's not a lot of sports law jobs in India. So to keep my mine also, I have to keep trying to up my own game every single day. Uh, because like I said, like anybody, so I only have so many friends who are qualified enough to take my space. So if I'm not leveling up, then yeah, this industry will replace me, I feel. So yeah, it is very, very stressful in that sense, but I really am liking the challenge. And the people I work with also have a lot of patience to teach me the work that I do. So I think that's really important. There is so the thing about this field is also that the people who are in this field look at sports as a way of life. So the teamwork, the discipline, the coming back after a loss, celebrating a win, it that also matters to these people. Culture, because like there's so much talk about a cricket team performs well on the field because in the dressing room they all have each other's backs.
Mhm.
Um, and so a lot of the times the way we work in our office on a day-to-day basis, sometimes we look at that as a dressing room. When we're say preparing a document, how does somebody at the A1 level interact with somebody at the senior level to put together a perfect piece of paper? It's all teamwork. So, and that is something you have to build. You don't just get it. So I think uh, even though it's a high stress, high pressure environment, I think the people here also understand the job like a sport. Um, and so there are bad days, there are good days. There are days where you can celebrate together, but there are days where your loss feels personal. Um, but I think the fun part is we're doing it for something tangible. We're doing it for something, that's fun and makes other people also really happy.
Mhm.
Uh, sometimes we'll go and watch a match together and it'll all be worth it. So yeah, yeah, gratifying.
I think, yeah, that is what it is. Like you do what you love, and then everything just starts falling into place. And I think
Yeah.
you are doing exactly that same.
Far from it, but yeah, trying.
Yes. But what drives you to stay motivated, like even when things get tough for you?
Uh, so I've only been in this job for a year now.
Hmm.
Um, first 6 months, you're in the dark, right? You're just trying to find the switches. Um, and now I think I've hit a groove, but I'm also reaching that space when I'm tired, because it's been so stressful. But the motivation comes from the fact that now I know the difference between a bad job and a good job, because I can compare it in my own journey. So now, like when I go back into work the next week and I work on something similar that I worked on last week, I know how this can be better. So I think that is something that keeps me motivated. And the other thing is genuinely that I'm aware that when I'm pushing myself and I'm running on reserves. So if I'm really burnt out, then I'm just taking the next day off and going to a beach or spending the time with my friends because um I don't want to uh have like long-term gains at the cost of my short-term day-to-day life. Uh, just like if I woke up, whatever, like I worked till 4 days in a row, 3 a.m. Yeah, and I can't, like I can't push myself. I know my body's gonna suffer. I know I'm gonna have a headache. I know my work is going to suffer. Then I will just take that day off and I will do what I need to do, and then the next day I'll just come back better at it. So I think staying motivated also just what it means to me is that knowing when you need to take a break and when you need to communicate to your team members that, hey, like my plate is really full right now and I need you to help me take some off. So I think, yeah, that that really helps.
Yeah, knowing when to stop and then when to start, I think that
Yeah.
is what everybody has to learn and understand as well. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So in this podcast, we have some solution-based questions that I'm gonna ask you, and then you're gonna share it from your point of view, so that so whosoever is listening, it might help them as well. Can be
Yeah.
anything like international students or young professional or somebody looking to, do both.
Yeah.
So, from students or professionals who are considering studying or working abroad, what's one piece of advice you wish someone had given you before you moved?
Move only if you have the financial means to do it. Otherwise, India is not a bad place.
Mhm.
Um, make your dreams happen. Uh, Also, I think long-term vision. I think adult life is very different from student life abroad. Student life is still fun because you're hanging out with your age people who are also looking for fun as much as studies. But adult life, people have different priorities, and so it's hard to build that support system as an adult abroad.
Mhm.
So I think if you're really convinced that you're someone who can get along with their culture, with you know, ha just having things be a little bit harder. Like here, you can rely on your neighbor, you can rely on groceries turning up in 2 minutes, you can rely on accessible medical support and all of that. Everything there is just a little bit harder, but also obviously convenient because the public infrastructure is better. But just in terms of support systems, I think we have it easier here. Um, so I think long-term clarity, like to remove the romanticized bubble of living abroad, I think is really important. So go there as a student and have fun. But I think if you want to move there for a life, I think rethink it. Uh, be really sure that you want that life and be aware of the comforts you are giving up here. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a nice way to say because when I moved here in France, I was like, I'll manage it, because I've stayed away from my family for so many years. I'll manage this. But then after a month, I was like, I can't do this. This is too much for me. This is way different than I thought. Moving around in the same country but in different states, I think that's
Yeah.
much easier because
Yeah.
it's like we are people of one place, even though there is language barriers in our country as well. But still, it always used to feel like, okay, I can handle the pressure, I can manage it. But here, it's a very different way of doing things, of, adjusting to things. I think
Yeah.
that's one mindset I would have really appreciated if somebody gave me. Like, what you think in your head that you're going to do this, you're going to do absolutely the opposite of it.
Yeah.
But
Like for example, I used to make chai in Madrid and it was never good, never good. Obviously, the water is different, the milk is different, but I would still make it every single day because that was the part that connected me to home. Because I was like, if I was home, I'd be making a masala chai right now. And so I will still make it and I will still drink it. It sucks, but I will do it.
Yeah, like I remember once, so I stay in a homestay. So I stay with the owner over here. And in the beginning, like obviously I got all the spices, and because I know how to cook, and I was like, I can't stay away from the spices. Where will I go find look for the spices over there? So I got it all like home grinded, like very spicy red mirchis and all. So I made something like a chicken curry and I gave it to her. For me, it was like normal spice. I'm like, this is spice tolerance. Like I have insane spice tolerance. And she just took one bite of it and she turned red and she nearly started crying. I'm like, really? It's that spicy? That's
Yeah, man, their diet is bread and cheese. Like, doesn't even have salt or spice.
very nice way of saying. But this is one question that I wanted to ask because I've asked everybody who has come to my podcast that what is that one advice you would like to give it to your younger self?
My younger self, I think, don't doubt yourself. Like, I think my younger self was a lot more confident, and I think she was overconfident and I'm confident. I want to go back to being overconfident. So yeah, just you're cool as it is. Don't other people are faking it. Yeah.
That's so true. Like
What did you
oh,
say?
me. I think I always kept underestimating my capabilities and my everything, like even my presence. So I would say that you are going to achieve a lot better things than you have already thought in your head. So just
Yeah.
don't give up. That's all. Don't doubt yourself. That's all. I
Hmm.
think I kept on doubting my existence also at a point. I was like, what am I even doing here? And like, but I think, yeah, everything what I've done in life, I think that has led me to this point that I'm pursuing masters from a different country. I think I have started this podcast. Who knew I would get to know so many backstories? And then I don't know where this will go, but I know in my personal life I'm gonna lead to something great. So I'm just
Yeah.
waiting. So yeah, that's all.
Yeah, no, I think it's really cool. And I think I also admire you because you're one of those people who will try their hand at whatever interests them. And so the one quote that I read was follow curiosity and not passion.
Oh.
Because I think curiosity is like it has a stronger grounding.
Mm.
You want to see how it works and you want to like figure that out. Passion is it's fleeting, I feel. So I think you're one of those people who are also just curious. So I think you're doing a fab job. And yeah,
Thank you so much. But I'm learning also. Like I've see people that are you put it in a very nice way that if you are doing the right thing, you meet with the right people. I think
yeah,
meeting with you also was a very big aspect of my life. Maybe we did not have too much time together, but we are connected to each other. We know like when to reach out to each other, and we'll always reach out. That's the point. And that's the point. Like, I have met a lot of good people along the way when I was working, and then when I came, so like in Paris. And yeah, so that helps you, that teaches you a lot, that you see what people are doing, and that doesn't stop you. And it's like even they can do it, so you can as well do it too. And
yeah, true. I think growing up is more like shedding layers.
mhm,
Uh, Because when you're young, you don't judge anybody, right? You're like, oh, this person's fun, that person's interesting, that person is smart. So I'm going to be friends with you and you and you and you and you. And I think the older you realize, you're like, I'm being pulled in all of these directions. Uh, and I don't know who I am anymore. So then you start shedding those layers
mhm.
and you try to find who you are inside. And when you do that, then I think the people that align with you and your journey, they start coming into your life. So I think it just boils down to learning more about yourself.
That's really true. But thank you so much, Prerna, for taking out time and then sharing your experiences. I think it really means a lot that you are busy, even I'm busy, but you made out the time for me and the podcast, and then you shared your all experiences, everything, and that really means a lot. But thank you so much again. And any final words of wisdom you want to give to everybody?
No, I love the name of your podcast. I think it's really fun. Yeah, and I think it's a uh, really cool project to document these stories because, yeah, as you said, there's so much happening here, right? Like moving to a whole different country, not knowing where this is going to go, whether you're redefining home, you're redefining your people, you're redefining who you are essentially. And we really don't give this enough credit. So it's a cool project and really excited to see where you go with this. And I'm sure you're going to like learn a lot about people, and that is something I'm really excited for you.
But yes, thank you so much again. And people who are watching, if you find this episode helpful, then do share it with your friends who need to hear this, or anybody you know that might help you. And yeah, thank you so much for listening to us. And don't forget the drill. Do you want to say it?
Like, share, subscribe.
And press the bell icon also.